Lewis, many congratulations. You didn't need to look at the timing screen. You could hear the crowd telling you you were on pole. How pleasing was that today?
I am so happy, so happy. Honestly, because if you even heard me in the press conference, you're like, oh, the track's not going to be the same, because that's what we all thought, and the track's still phenomenal. The track still feels great. The engine drop-off is not anywhere near what we anticipated, and then on top of that, we really thought, yesterday they were scaring me. They were like, we're going to be 6/10 off in a straight line to these guys, and in the last race we were 4/10 off in the straight line, and then today all of a sudden we're kind of there, and I was like, is this real? Are they going to turn up in quali? And we were right there competing with them. So it just goes back to, I always want to bring it back to everyone back at the factory, because I can't say it enough. They're pushing. Like last year we were kind of stuck in the rut. Not a lot we could do. Now they're finding things, they're adding things to the car, and this weekend, every single weekend, we're bringing small little bits and adding performance to this car, and it felt awesome. Silverstone track it's the best track to drive.
Oh, Kimi, there was nothing in it out there. You look like you've been so quick out there, so just to miss out, how gutted is it?
Yeah, I mean, it was so close, and it was a shame. I felt, to be fair, Q1 I felt a bit bad. I didn't feel great in the car, but then we made a slight balance adjust, and SQ2 felt night and day, and we suddenly were back in the pace, and SQ3 was a little bit left on the table, but was a decent lap, and unfortunately was super close to Lewis, but of course congrats to him, and on our side we'll focus on to tomorrow now.
I know that you said after Austria that you wanted to go full focus again. It felt like you did that today. You looked quick all day. I know you said not quite comfortable. That must be really good for you, right? That feeling you've got.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean the car I felt good. Ferrari, they've done an incredible step forward. So definitely it's going to be very tough. Plus Lewis even is in a great form. So, but that's good. We like the challenge, and we'll try to make the best out of it.
You can fight for the win tomorrow, though, Kimi.
Yeah, of course. We'll go for it, and we'll try to do our best. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but everything is on the table to do well. So we'll make sure.
Hey, Maxwell. Given where it looked like you were this morning, FP1 from the outside, are you reasonably happy to be in the top three and sprint quality?
So yeah. I mean, for us, probably the outcome of SQ3 was, it was very close, right? It could easily have been P3 or whatever, P6 or 7. But we were on the good side. So yeah, we were a bit closer. I think we're still not where we want to be. Cornering maybe a tiny bit, but also like deployment and stuff. So a few things to figure out to try and find more lap time. We'll try to do that, of course, after the sprint.
Did the car feel much better in sprint quality relative to this morning?
A little bit better, yeah. So not where I wanted to be. I guess it's also just a combination of how the layout is now, let's say like that, with some limitations on the straight, and just getting the balance in the right window.
Do you think you can take the fight to Kimi and Lewis in front tomorrow?
They look a bit quick. So, and I guess, they look quick, so normally, teammate related, they should be quick also in race space if everything calms down a little bit. So for me, I think it will be more of a battle with the guys behind me.
Hey, George, it looked like you were chasing it a little bit today. Just sum up kind of where you were with the car and how that kind of went into sprint quality and the disappointment, obviously, to miss out today.
It's kind of story of the year, to be honest, always on the back foot. Usually come Q3 can generally make a step. Today, not quite the case. It was very close to P3, but still very much off the pace of Lewis and Kimi. So need to try and understand why that is. It's a bit strange.
Did you know out of the box this morning that maybe it wasn't quite where you wanted it to be, the car?
I think it's feeling quite good out there, to be honest. It's not feeling too bad. I think we was all expecting it to feel a bit worse, just in terms of driving these cars here, but it actually felt quite okay, and the high speed felt fast. But as I said, relative lap time just not really there. So we need to understand tomorrow is the more important day.
And surprised about the pace of Ferrari as well, right?
Very surprised. Very surprised. They've been on the back foot with the PU and energy management, and here they look the best at the moment. So that's been a real surprise. We've always known they've had a great chassis. But yeah, I think some things aren't quite making sense. If I were to have predicted, I'd have said Ferrari quick last week and us to be quick this week. Obviously, Kimi did a great job, but still, Ferrari have had the upper hand all day.
Well, best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
It's like you look disappointed by how that all went. What happened out there?
Yeah, it's just very close to. I mean, I'm 8th, the final guy of the top 4 cars, so it's a bit disappointing. I'm missing out on 3rd because I was just not quick enough on that final lap. Max was able to do it. So, I really want to look at what went wrong in the lap. I know I didn't have the best start of it, like launching it. So I know it cost me a bit of time. But,
It's still fine margins out there, though. Up to P3, it's just over a tenth. It wasn't like you were a million miles away.
Yeah, that's why. That's why it's a bit more frustrating, because I know if I tidy up 1 or 2 things, then we can get there. But I'm happy about my driving today. I think I've been on it since lap 1, so that's good. And hopefully tomorrow we find even more time.
Yeah, well, Charles, a little bit of a gap, obviously, to Lewis, who's just taking pole today. Where are you sort of missing out where he's cashing in at the moment?
Well, that's what I'm looking at the moment. Obviously, it's been quite a bit that I realized I didn't have the ease that I had last year with last year's car. And even when whenever I put things together, it's we speak about hundreds, and Lewis is more often at 100% of the potential of the car, which I'm not. So I've got to work on everything really. But I think most importantly is just the feeling with this car. When you don't get quite the feeling, then it's difficult to extract the lap time and to have the confidence of every Saturday is going into qualifying. In this case, it's a Friday, but anyway, and get to the limit of the car, which I'm struggling to just be consistent to be at my 100%. Q1 and Q2, I was close to it. I was quite confident for Q3, but coming Q3, I lost the car. I just don't feel the car as well as I should.
Yeah, it seems the new power unit seems to be operating better here than it did in Austria. Can you be quite racy with it tomorrow and fight the cars ahead?
We are extremely surprised, I think, with Lewis taking the pole today, but in general we were expecting just a much bigger gap to the cars in front. So it's a good step forward. I think as a team we are very, very surprised to be that competitive on a track like this.
Orlando, I think we saw you had some, was it rear brake duct damage and
Front.
Front. Yeah, we saw the brake duct. Was that kind of hampering you all the way through, even with the nose change?
It was, yeah, quite actually a lot more than I thought, because only the final run we managed to fix it. The guys did a good job on fixing it for the final run, but the car was just completely different and way better again. So it's just it felt pretty shocking for most of it. Just lucky that we managed to fix it, because it felt like a completely different car. But by the time I got the feeling for the final lap, I felt like I could have just pushed way more. So a little bit just unfortunate today. But I think also the pace was still there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean it was close from Max downwards. Tomorrow, what sort of race car do you think? Can you make a few places? How racy can you be?
I will try, but I mean, the cars we're around, I think maybe the Red Bull we can potentially compete against, but the Mercedes of George is clearly just a lot quicker, so to fight a much quicker car like that is going to be difficult, but you never know. So I felt happier at the end. I just need to understand a few things and see what we can improve into tomorrow.
Just finally, backing from the fans. I mean, an amazing sight to see your fans. I saw them. I was up there. You gave them a little wave in practice today.
Yeah, that was always good. I mean, also for Lewis to be on P1 on pole for tomorrow is a cool thing for all the fans. Again, still a cool thing for even me to see. So yeah, unfortunate we don't have the pace to compete against them, but always just nice to see the fans, see the yellow, see my grandstand. So hopefully we can have a better day for them tomorrow.
How are you feeling after that quali session? I know kind of maybe going into it you probably knew you might not be in the fight for pole today, but is that kind of where you thought you'd end up shaking out?
Yeah, more or less. I think after practice we looked pretty slow. So it's about where we thought we'd be. I think, to be honest, probably closer to that next pack behind Kimi and Lewis. So a tricky day, to be honest, but yeah, we'll try and improve for tomorrow.
Did the car feel much better then from practice through to sprint quali then? Because the gap, at least, you were quite close, weren't you, to Max and to Charles in terms of overall performance?
It improved a bit, definitely, but not as much as we need, unfortunately. So, yeah, I felt like I've really been on it today, and we've just not had the pace. So, yeah, a bit of a shame, but we'll try again tomorrow.
Well, best of luck tomorrow. Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, Liam, you come out on top ahead of your teammate. Another good performance for Racing Bulls. The consistency the team are finding right now really is good.
Yeah, it's good. Car's really good. It's been good all day. We've honestly barely changed anything. So that's, been something that's been really good for us recently. We've come to these weekends and been quite aggressive, and it's been working. So, it's a good starting position for tomorrow.
Yeah, hearing a lot of battery chat on the radio, getting the car prepared to start the flying lap. How tricky is that, and what learnings will you take into Grand Prix qualifying?
It's definitely tough. I mean, it wasn't super warm today, so you actually need the energy to put the temperature in the tyres, but you can't obviously spend too much of it because you don't have enough to start your lap. So, and then through your lap as well, obviously it's as we're getting faster, we're just running out of energy. So it's been very different here for sure compared to some of the tracks previously. But I think for our sakes, the team's done a great job, and we've been in a good place today.
Yeah. Are you in a little bit of a no man's land? Can you fight for points? It's obviously tricky with the top four teams as they are.
If they all finish, probably not, which sucks. But I mean, for sure I'll try. We'll try and get a good start and see what we can get in the first few corners. But I think pace-wise, normally in the long run, they're a bit ahead of us anyway. So we're very focused on quality tomorrow and the race on Sunday.
Well, Arvid, well done. It's another strong performance from Racing Bulls. How happy were you with your own SQ3 there?
Yeah, I mean, the team have done a really good job. Again, 2 cars in Q3 was really good. For myself, it's not been the easiest day. We had a few issues with the deployment in the Q1. And we just managed to get it fixed for Q2. It still wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. And then in Q3, I don't know, I just wasn't very quick. So I need to understand why. It felt quite different to what I was expecting. Wasn't really that much more grip. Just need to look into why. Yeah, I think for myself it's been an okay day, but the team have done a good job to help us out. So
there'll be learnings to take into Grand Prix qualifying, I'm sure. How interesting could the sprint be itself? Are we going to see quite a few overtakes? Because obviously the battery is going to be significant here. Who's got deployment, who hasn't?
Yeah, for us, I'm not sure. I mean, realistically, I don't think we're really going to be fighting the guys in front. In quali, we can be somewhat close, but they do have a pace advantage. They're always much better in the race. So I don't think we're going to be really fighting much further forward. I think it's going to be very much about learning about what this car's like in the race for Sunday, and obviously trying to do a good race.
Well, I think it was a personal best first and second sector on that last lap. Could you have got very much more out of it, do you think, Nico?
It was clean. I think in sprint quali it was a bit more windy, a bit more gusty compared to this morning. I feel, we paid a bit of a price for that, or lost performance relative to others maybe. And our run sequence was a bit different, so need to review that.
Yeah. What sort of learnings will you use from today in terms of deployment for qualifying tomorrow?
Just all of them. Digest everything, process it, and obviously we have a sprint race tomorrow and then reset and the classic standard quali, so we'll just put the best package on the road.
Yeah. Bit of a gap still to the Racing Bulls. Where are they ahead at the moment?
I don't know. I haven't seen any data, but Sector 1 I think was quite poor on our side, which is typical here, for wind. It's a bit more exposed there, turn 3, turn 4, the lowest speed corners, so I don't know, maybe that, but I need to review.
Yeah, well, Carlos, both Williamses progress into SQ2. A small step forward today?
Yeah, small step, maybe a bit smaller than what we would have liked. To be honest, we put a new front wing on the car that seems to be working well. I think it has only helped us to out-qualify one Haas or two, I don't know. Two of the Haas's.
Yeah.
So
just by 100th, I think, in your case.
We managed to, from being behind to being in front of them with it. I think that's a fair little upgrade that we brought to it. Unfortunately, we're still miles away from the top 10. I think the Audi, the V-Carb and the Audi this weekend seem half a second quicker, which is a bit too much for our liking, but it's what it is. We will keep pushing, keep digging. Today lap was probably one of the best ones of the season, putting everything together. So at least I take that with me and see what we can do tomorrow.
Big crowd here, obviously. It's a special event. How much entertainment do you think the sprint might provide? What will these cars be like fighting each other on this track?
Probably one of the most entertaining tracks. My opinion, for the wrong reasons, because we are very energy starved and we will be playing with I spend it here, but then you pass me back. I think you will see a bit of yo-yo racing again this weekend, which anyway is what it is. The changes are done for next year, but crowd is amazing. Arriving to the track is always impressive to see all the British fans, but also international fans in the home of motorsport turning up and giving us so much support.
Hey Gabby, 3/10 or so off getting through to SQ3 today. Kind of how do you feel about where the car was? Were you able to get out of the car today?
I think, well, now in the hindsight, obviously it's easy to say, but maybe if we waited, to put that one lap tire at the end of the session, we could have been a bit closer. I don't think we are that far away from the Racing Bulls, like 3/10. I think we are a bit closer. Still, I believe they are a bit ahead of us again this weekend, but not 3/10.
In terms of just the overall pace though, still second best in the midfield, still a lot of the long way to go in this weekend, and you were been performing well. Still optimistic you can be in the fight this weekend if you can make those changes?
I hope so, yeah. We are aiming for that, we are working for that. Obviously there is, it's only the second session we do in the weekend. So much things still to improve and do better, so let's see.
Oh, Pierre, just missed out today, but you look like you made some good progress through the day. So what's your overall feeling after that sprint quali?
Overall, I would say not where we want to be, but I think very positive from where we came after P1. I mean, it was very difficult in P1. We need to have a look exactly what happened, but the car felt very different. Going into sprint quali, it just all fell back to normal. But yeah. Maybe we didn't learn much from this morning, so still felt good. The laps were good. I felt confident behind the wheel. Feels like it was strong laps. I feel at the moment it's a bit where we are. The V-Carb looked really strong, and I think we just need to find a way to up our game slightly to make sure we stay in that battle with them.
How strong do you think they are, and do you think that might define how tomorrow goes and whether or not you can get those few positions you need to find?
I mean,
looking
at I was pretty impressed with that P4, from Liam in SQ2. So I think it was maybe 3/4 tenths, which is too much. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I have a few ideas in terms of setup for tomorrow, of things I want to improve. I think we can find a bit more time, but 4 tenths is a big ask, and we'll see. I think overall it's been a good quality. That's just where we are.
Yeah, we have watched the post-sprint qualifying interviews. We just tried our best to cover the most of the drivers today, and we had a very interesting sprint qualifying interviews for the today. And as I said, sprint qualifying at Silverstone is done. The paddock interviews have just finished, and honestly the atmosphere right now inside the Formula 1 feels absolutely insane, because today completely changed the mood of the weekend. Lewis Hamilton putting the Ferrari on the provisional pole at Silverstone has completely exploded across the paddock. Mercedes suddenly looks under pressure again. McLaren sounds nervous, and Red Bull still looks confused about where they truly stand. And after hearing all the drivers in the media panel tonight, there is a drama everywhere. Let's start with Lewis Hamilton, because honestly today felt like a movie. The Silverstone crowd absolutely exploded after Hamilton went fastest in sprint qualifying, and during the paddock interviews afterward you could genuinely see the emotion. Hamilton admitted this was probably one of the most special qualifying sessions since joining the Ferrari, because doing it at Silverstone in front of the British crowd made it even bigger. But honestly the interesting part wasn't the emotion. It was how confident Hamilton sounded afterward, because for the first time in weeks Hamilton actually sounded like a driver who believes Ferrari might finally understand this car. He admitted Austria forced Ferrari to react aggressively with the setup and balance changes, and according to people inside the paddock, Ferrari's new floor and cooling tweaks already look much more stable in Silverstone conditions. But Hamilton also warned everybody not to get carried away yet, because admitted Ferrari still needs to prove they can survive race pace degradation tomorrow, and honestly that's exactly what everybody inside Formula 1 is wondering right now. Can Ferrari finally survive a long run, or we are about to see another Austria situation where the pace disappears during the race? That's a big question tonight, Low. And also, as you know, Max Verstappen, we had also Max Verstappen sounded frustrated again, not angry, just frustrated. He admitted Red Bull still feels unpredictable throughout Silverstone's high-speed section, especially with the new 2026 energy deployment systems. At the one point, he basically hinted the car balance change corner to corner depending on the battery deployment. That sounds terrifying, honestly, and what's really interesting, Verstappen didn't sound convinced that Red Bull can fight Ferrari or Mercedes consistently this weekend. That's unusual, because normally, even during difficult weekends, Verstappen still sounds confident tonight, but tonight not really. They came to transfer rumors again. Journalists absolutely attacked Verstappen with the questions about the Mercedes and McLaren speculation, especially after new reports this week claim that both teams are still monitoring his future situation very closely. Verstappen looked a few times, avoided direct answers, but once again he never truly shut the rumors down. And honestly, people in the paddock are noticing that more and more now. George Russell, meanwhile, looked super calm tonight. And honestly, Mercedes might actually still be favored for the race despite Hamilton's sprint pole. Russell admitted the Mercedes race pace during the practice looked extremely strong, especially over long runs. And one thing drivers keep saying about the Mercedes right now is the car looks easy to drive. That's becoming a massive advantage under these regulations, because while Ferrari and Red Bull still seem nervous about the setup windows, Mercedes just looks comfortable, and that's dangerous. No, now let's talk about Lando Norris, because honestly, Norris sounded tense tonight. The British media pressure around him at Silverstone is huge already, and after McLaren underperformed in Austria, everybody expected a stronger session today. McLaren McLaren still looks slightly behind Ferrari and Mercedes over one lap. Norris admitted that the car feels on the edge tonight, Silverstone's fast corners, and he basically hinted McLaren still isn't fully understanding tire temperatures during qualifying. That's worrying, because earlier this season McLaren looked like the calmest team in Formula 1. Now suddenly the pressure is building fast, and as always, Oscar Piastri sounded more relaxed tonight. He admitted McLaren's long run pace still looks competitive, and suggested tomorrow's sprint could tell a completely different story, because tire degradation at Silverstone could completely reshuffle the order again. And the Charles Leclerc, because despite the Ferrari's pace, Leclerc sounded much more cautious than Hamilton. He admitted the upgrades improved balance, but he also hinted Ferrari still struggles with consistency, corner, and lot more that we had on our video today. Interviews, and also for a couple of minutes we are going to have also press conference on our channel. Just don't forget to like this video, to comment it, and to subscribe to the channel.